Okay, then it's okay. So this is my project implementation as of now. I can move left and right. I can like jump. And also I perform a super jump like this. And then I can also like dash like this. So yeah. So for the explanation of the code itself, I basically have like a tag on the platform here, which I use to check if it is the platform that the player like is colliding with the box collider and the capsule collider here. And if it is like if it is the platform tag, it returns it as true. So that basically like tells my functions that the player is grounded, so they can therefore like jump. And now this is like intended to prevent like air jumps and that sort of thing. Then I implemented the function like moving left and right, which I based on like the float move input dot like get access, so that the player can use the A and D key to like move left and right. And then I implemented the movement part here, just like very basic. And as for like this one here, this is the flip move input. I basically just like made a simple script that like checks if the player is moving like in the left or right direction, and if so, it basically just like rotates the player object like 180 to like reflect the correct angle like this. Now for my like super jump, I basically just took my whole thought process was that like as soon as the player like starts to press down on the space key, the timer should start, and its jumping through like variable should like be true, just to like know that the player is actually going to jump. And as like the player basically holds it down, like time will pass here, and it'll be like transferred to the seconds pass. And if the player like releases it like when the jump duration is like 1.5 like here, 1.5 seconds like here, before 1.5 seconds, the player basically just gets like a short like mini jump here with a consistent like jump value, which is like 5.0 F. Now if they like hold it down for much like longer, they can then perform like a super jump, which is basically seconds plus like over math seconds, which is like a percentage of the like how big the jump force would become. Then we like set it up so that like vector 2 RB linear velocity x jump force to basically like make the object jumped. And then we just set this jumping equals to false, and the whole like is jumping true equals to false. It's just to like check if the object is jumping just once, so they can't do like a double air jump or anything of that sort. Now for like the 2- like coroutine, it's basically when the object like when I basically press on the left shift and if the object is like dashing just like can dash, it starts the coroutine of the dash script here. which starts the timer here. You return no. If it's like the dash timer is like beneath the max dash time, so that like the player doesn't spam the left shift key and just like start an infinite like dash. Then then we just set it to can dash equals to false to like stop this from like happening as well. And this dashing equals to true for the fix update here to basically like make it stop move or jump input from like cancelling the dash coroutine. And then for like the air jump, like we basically set the float original like gravity here to like 0f in order to like ensure that the object can basically like hover in the air as they like do like a short burst towards a certain direction. And then we implement the linear velocity by transforming local scale x to like move in one direction times the dash speed here, and then we have the return statement to like let it run until a certain duration here. Then we return everything back to normal with the gravity scale to original gravity is dash equals to false. And then we set a timer for the whole dash duration itself. And just like we set everything here. Okay, oops. So like the developmental like challenges I had like while implementing like or coding everything else was basically to like hold on. Also was basically just figuring out like figuring out online like which resource I should refer to, because I had like a very basic like job tier where I utilized the if statements for this, which just made like documenting the whole thing like not as elegant as I would have liked it to be. Like this. I then like fell into like a problem where I confused the platform properties as like confused the platform properties where I made it so that like this is like dependent on like telling the player if the player is on the platform, which is like my mistake here. I really got like confused over like the whole OOP thing with it, because I thought that if the platform was related into like helping the player to basically tell if it's grounded, then it should have like a script to like tell if it is like grounded. So yeah. So this basically like hold on. This basically just made it like much more confusing for me to like implement. Then I basically got even more confused because I started like experimenting a lot with which movement variable I should like choose to use. Then on like Thursday, I basically chose to like implement this script here, and I couldn't like jump for the life of me. I couldn't like figure out how to like jump on like Friday. I then like figure out that like the reason why was because I implemented a really like stupid function called handle like collision, which was like on me, like here. So yeah. I guess now my next step is to like implement like Cinema Machine into my code itself. So I basically would like use Cinema Machine and try to like implement it in Unity. That's all.